Then it's basically just a matter of picking it up, shaking it, giving it a tap around. This is what I normally do, and then working one thing I do is to force the bristles of the brush into a little thing and shove them up that chute and swizzle it around. You can see the coffee coming out the other end. Give it a bit of a shake. Short of disassembling the whole grinder, which is not a user thing, this is really the only way to clean it. You could take the whole thing apart, but it's not part of the user thing. It's more of a service type thing. But again, just shove that brush in there, swizzle it around, try and just loosen up any bits of coffee that are in there. This is what I normally do. Give it another tap, bit of a shake. Don't go too nuts, because they are pretty solid, but don't be shaking anything too loose. And there we go. You can see the coffee keeps coming out as we go. I think what I might end up doing is getting a little shop vacuum, little workshop vacuum that can be a vacuum and a blower, I think, with a little nozzle on it, and do that, because what I actually thought of this time is I've got a little one of those compressed cans of air, which I'll get shortly, and just use that to try and blow it out. And you'll see we do that shortly. Here we can squirt that out. That worked quite well. It's probably the best cleaning I've had, so I think that canned air is pretty expensive stuff. You use it for the computer, blowing all the dust out of there, but it's not really a practical solution for cleaning the coffee grinder. I think one of those little $30 vacuums. You can see it's quite compressed. I think that might be the way to go. You don't really need it. I mean, you can clean it just with the without the blowing it out part, and it works just as well. Give that a bit of a squirt and a clean. We're nearly done. I'm only really doing this once a month, sometimes once every 2 months, depending on how lazy I am. I try and do it once a month just to keep on top of it, otherwise it goes a bit crazy. So here we are with our clean grinder. Now we just have to reassemble it all together. The first thing that I do here, it's a bit different. It's not the exact reverse of putting it together. We've got to put the collar on first, and what we'd have to do is basically line up those arrows again at the back, the arrow there, and just push that little button. You'll see where the catch goes in, and you slide that on top. Just work it down so it's seated again. Release the button. Now this is the part that you have to get right. If you don't get this right, you'll ruin the whole thing. You have to put the just rest that in. This is the burr assembly. It's clean. It's got a bit of dust on it from sitting in the container. There we go. And now you can see it sitting up there above the thing. What you do is you basically just turn it around in either direction. Doesn't really matter. I started off going that way and then changed my mind. And you'll see it'll just reach a spot where it just pops in, and you're done. So we'll just show that again. Just lift it out, and so you just rest it in there, turn the little wire around until you'll feel it. It'll just sink down into its little slot, and you're done. That's it. Push the wire down, and then to finish the reassembly part, you push in that button again and turn the collar around so that the arrow is back around at the part where the grinding measurements are, and just hold that in until we get to there. Now what we do is, you'll see we're lined up at the course. It'll start to make the ratchety click noise there at this point, and then you can just turn it as per normal. What I'd like to do normally is turn it just gently right down to fine, and then back up to where I'm going to, just to make sure it's all seated properly. If it doesn't go down to the fine section, then you've got some sort of problem, and it should end right there on that point. If it goes too far or not far enough, you've got a problem. And then just reset it back to the point. My grind setting of 17, you can see there. And then there's really only just one step, which is to put the hopper back on. Ready, click that in place, and we're done. Ready for another month of grinding.